is, I know. If you would like to, please write in the chat where you're calling from, how many kids you have, how old they are. I'm Michelle. It's very nice to see all of you here. I'm a mother of two. I have a 17-year-old daughter and a 20-year-old daughter. I can't believe it, actually. And I've been doing this work for a very long time, 15 years as a parenting coach, 10 years, 12 years in public school as a counselor and a teacher. And I've been a parent for 20 years. So let's see who's in the chat. Where are you calling from? And hi, Nadine. Garden River. Where's beautiful Garden River? One daughter, 16 years old. Where is Garden River, Nadine?
Center of the Great Lakes.
Ah, gorgeous. Amazing. Nice to see you. Hi, Allison T from Missouri, mother of three, 7, 4, and 10-month-old boy. Amazing. Oh, Sade is here from New York. I'm so glad you're here. Nice to see you. Somebody from a Zoom user, I don't know your name there, but from Utah with 15-year-old and a 12-year-old. Finney from Singapore. Hi, Finney from Singapore. We have people from everywhere. This is amazing. One daughter who's 7 years old. Again, I'm Michelle. I have two daughters who are 17 and 20. I cannot believe it. And I'm so glad we are here today talking about kids who we believe might be people pleasers. All right. Anybody else want to put in the chat where they're from, where they're calling from, who their kids are? Transylvania. Hi, Rosa. Nice to see you. So great to have it. Hi, Danielle. Nice to see you. Hi, Natalia. Nice to see you. So good. All right. We've got more people coming in. Hi, South Africa. Somebody's from South Africa. Three kids, 23-year-old son, two daughters, 7 and 5. Amazing. Natalia's kids are 3 and 6. All right. So let's get started on this idea of people pleasing kids. And I'm so glad that you came here and you're showing up. And today we are going to ask you to do some work on yourselves. And I'm so glad you've taken the time to do that. So we're going to talk about what we often don't talk about. Why do some children stop asking for what they need and they start managing the people around them? And the harder question underneath that one is, are you raising this child? Are you raising a child maybe who's doing all of this and you might not even be noticing it? I know I did. If you're here today, you are already doing something right, because the parents who break this pattern are the parents who are willing to look at their own children for what is actually happening, not just what is easy to celebrate, like my daughter Pia. And we'll get into more of who she was and what became of her people pleasing as we go through this training. A lot of you recognize the word people pleaser, right? You called yourself one maybe, or your sister is one like mine was. You have maybe done years of work trying to unwind it, or you've noticed people in your life who have it. And almost nobody is talking about is that people pleasing does not start in adulthood. It starts in childhood, very young. And it starts with the child making decisions, usually before they even have language for it or even know what's going on. It's subconscious almost. And they know that the world is safer when they manage the adults around them than when they tell the truths about themselves. And it's hard when you have families with two kids that are totally different. I've got a people pleasing child, and I have a child who is the complete opposite and will not even consider pleasing anyone until herself is pleased. And so today I'm going to show you exactly how that happens, what it looks like, and what to do starting today if you're worried about it, or if you even think that your child leans this way. I'm going to start with my own story. Pia, my youngest. From the day she was born, she was easy. She was always quiet and looking, and she would play by herself for hours. She was observant. She didn't push back. She didn't really melt down much. She didn't interrupt. People told me all the time, oh my gosh, you're so lucky you have this second child who's easy. Your first one was really hard and this child is easy. And I believed it. And it made me believe I was doing something right, but it also made me believe that my other child was wrong. And so for years, I told myself how lucky I was that I just had one girl that was easy and that there couldn't be anything possibly wrong with my parenting because I had a child who was functioning and successful inside of my parenting. And one afternoon when Pia was around 3, when I really first started this work, she said something to me that I will never forget. And I was busy doing something. And Esme, my oldest, of course, was needing me for something because her way of trying to connect with me and trying to get her needs met was to be bigger, right? So Pia, completely unprompted, looked up and said to me, Mommy, don't worry. I can do it on my own. And I said, I know, baby. You're always so good at that. The hardest part of parenting Pia was not the meltdowns. There were no meltdowns. The hardest part was learning to notice the child who didn't really ask for much, the child who figured it out before she could fully talk. That the way she stayed close to me was by needing nothing. She wanted to be smaller so that she didn't bother me, so she could stay connected to me. That was her temperament. That's the version of people pleasing that we don't really talk about. The loud kid who falls apart with you, like my Esme. How many people have that kid? The loud kid, the kid taking up all the space. Put a yes in the chat if you have that kid. That kid's actually safe. They feel free enough to come apart in front of you, no matter what you think. But the kid we need to worry about is the kid who has stopped asking because they learned somewhere in their body that it costs more than going without. They watch us interact with the child who's more difficult and they say, I don't want any part of that. No, no, no. So that day when she said that to me, I started to understand something. It took me a long time to put it all together. The good kid is not always the okay kid. The easy kid is not always the safe kid. Sometimes the quietest, most polite child is the one who's learned very early that the world is safer when they manage us. And here's the part I realized with Pia. The reason Pia had learned to need nothing was not because of anything that happened in preschool or a friend's house or out in the real world. It was because of what was happening at our home with me. Because I came to parenting with this idea that kids needed to behave. How many people came to parenting with that idea that kids needed to behave? Because that's what I had learned. That's what I'd grown up with. Put a yes in the chat if you learned that you needed to behave. I knew that it was my job to read my sister's feelings. Read my parents' feelings. Before I was 4, before I could understand what happiness was, I realized that I needed to make sure I could manage my parents' feelings. And I wasn't very good at that because I was big and loud, but my sister was. She was really good at managing my parents' feelings. She became smaller. She didn't need so much. And guess what? I brought that whole operating system into my parenting. I became Esme became me, Pia became my sister, and I operated in a way where I needed everyone to behave. It was performance oriented. Esme was the loud one who took up most of the air in our house, and there was barely any air left for Pia, being my brilliant little observer. She did the math before she could even fully talk. She made herself small to fit into what was left, just like the paradigm I grew up in. It was a complete mirror. 2 girls, 3 years apart, same kind of parenting, same kind of paradigm, same kind of result. She watched every move I made with Esme. She noticed when I became unhinged, and she didn't want anything to do with the messiness, so she was quieter. She wasn't just easy, she was making room for us, for the rest of us to be big, to have our feelings, to live our lives. Drop a yes in the chat if you have ever, even quietly just for a second, wondered whether your child is managing you and your emotions. Just drop a yes if you notice that your child is quieter to make you happier. Yep, a lot of yeses. I see. Yep. A lot of yes. Sometimes. Yep. Sometimes. Yes, Allison. Yes. Sadly, I did it too. There's no shame here. I don't think we do it knowingly. We do it because we don't understand it, because it makes sense to have a child who behaves and it feels good. We get rewarded in society to have a child who does the right thing. I want you to know something about me before we go any further. I miss that with my own kids. And I was even a teacher and a counselor, and I grew up in it, and I went to years of therapy. But that pattern wasn't visible for me. I couldn't see it. It hides. It hides in compliance. It hides in being the good kid. It hides in the societal norm of, behavior. If you've missed it too, you're not behind. You're paying attention now. And now is the time to do the work. So here's the lie most of us were told by society. We were told that a good child is a calm child, a polite child, a child who does not make a scene. My Esme was, labeled as the bad kid, the hard kid, the disruptor. Something was wrong with her. But my Pia was touted as the kid that was doing everything right, so that she was good. And so then everything was good. And we've spent generations praising children for the absence of their needs. But the absence of need is not the same as the absence of feelings, emotions, or pain. Some children don't need as much as other children in any given moment. They're even tempered. They're easy to soothe. They have what they need and they go play. That's a real thing. But that's not exactly what we're talking about today. There's another child, and she's the child this training is for. She looks easy from the outside, but underneath, she's doing a job. She's scanning the room. She's reading the mom and dad's faces. She's calibrating which version of herself is allowed today. She is suppressing the things she wants so that she does not add weight, so she can feel the air. That child is not calm. She's hyper vigilant. And the cost of hypervigilance every single time gets paid somewhere else, usually in the body, sometimes in adulthood, maybe in a therapist's office 25 years later, when a perfectly competent woman in her 30s, like my sister, has no idea what she wants to do in life because nobody ever asked her. My sister suffered from chronic pain for years and years, until she decided to go to therapy to figure out what the heck was going on with her. And what she realized was that she stuffed her feelings to become small in our home. And that didn't serve her well as an adult. And she spent years unraveling that. And that person might be you, or might be your spouse, could be one of your kids. And the gift of being her, of having lived inside that nervous system your whole life, is that you can see this is your own child before anyone else does. And me seeing my sister has helped me see my daughter. You know the signs, because either you've been that kid or you know that kid. But the teacher's not going to see it. They're going to praise it. The grandparents aren't going to see it. They're going to be so happy that we have this child who's compliant. The well-meaning friend will tell you, oh, you're so lucky. You got an easy one. You will see it. And what we are doing today is to give you the framework to act on what you see. Okay, here's a question for you. When you were a child, which of these did the adults around you most often say to you? What kind of kids were you? Were you an A, so mature for your age? Were you B, such a good little helper? Were you C, easy? D, you never give us any trouble? Or E, I was a difficult one. I was E, the difficult one. Four, I heard all four. Tim heard all four. Anybody else? Which ones did you hear? B, Nadine is B, B. And I also learned to work for my love. Yes, so much. Allison, so mature for my age. Yep. I never heard any of these. I was D, thank you. I was E, actually, none of these. I was the difficult one. Finney says D. You never give us any trouble. Yeah. And you tend to operate from that, right? You hear that and you think, okay, that's the thing I heard. It's a good thing. So I'll keep doing what I've heard so I can keep getting the praise that I so deserve and need. These children were rewarded for not being children. And many of us are now afraid that we are doing the same, sometimes without noticing, to a small person in our own house. So if the fear is what brought you here, let's name what it actually is. And here's the research. The direction of attunement matters. Young children build their sense of self by reading the primary caretaker. They read our faces, they listen to our voices, they look at our body thousands of times a day. And why is that? Because their reptilian brain tells them, I need this person for survival. So when the parent is reading the child learns that what they feel is okay. When the child is reading the child learns to manage instead. And the reason this installs so early is simple: survival. The strongest motivator a small nervous system has, the reptilian brain, is survival. Children do not weigh the long term cost of suppressing themselves. They are just in survival. They're just doing whatever it takes to be close to the adult. Their brain is constantly scanning. How can I stay close to this person? I need them. I need them for nourishment. I need them for shelter. I need them for love. I have to stay close to this person or I will not survive. And those are essential. And our brain will do whatever it takes to get those needs met. So the more you have, if you have a child that has a temperament that's more agreeable, that means they will become smaller if they feel as if the only way they're going to get their needs met is if they're not a problem. In a rebellious child, this means being even bigger and taking up more space because they will scream and yell until they get it. If staying close requires being easy, they are easy. If staying close requires being quiet, these children will be quiet. If staying close requires managing your emotions or my emotions, they will manage. And by the time we figure it out decades later, that strategy had a cost. The strategy has become who we are. The work for our own kids is to make sure they never have to choose between being themselves and being close to us. And that's why connective parenting is so effective, because we never ask a child to choose, not the rebellious child and not the quiet child. Okay, 5 patterns. How loving parents build people pleasers unknowingly. Here are the 5 patterns. This is what I see often in my coaching every week. And I've done all 5 of these myself, so there's no judgment. Praising the absence of need. You're so easy. You never give me trouble. I'm so lucky you're not like your brother. Every one of these sentences sounds like love, but the child whose nervous system is listening, what they hear is, I'm loved when I'm not a burden, especially when it comes to a sibling. If a sibling is big and overwhelming and we are always exacerbated by the sibling, they notice that. The fix is talk about who they are. I love spending time with you. I love how you think. Never thank a child for being convenient. Number 2, modeling adult distress without resolution. Your child sees you stressed. It's normal. They see you exhausted. It's also normal. But the damage happens when the child watches the distress and never gets to see what happens next. That you took care of yourself, that you took care of your needs. A young child files the distress as something that they caused, as something they need to fix. The fix is when your child sees you upset, close the loop out loud. I'm having a hard day. I'm going to go take a walk. I'm going to sit down and have a cup of tea. This isn't your burden. This is mine. The sentence reroutes the storyline. Take responsibility for your feelings. Number 3, asking children to manage adult feelings. Don't make mommy so upset. You're going to make daddy angry. I had such a long day. Please, please, please just be good for me. I've said that a lot. These sentences land in a child's body as a job description. Your job is to make sure I'm okay. And that child, these sensitive children, they take that job seriously. So don't put your feelings on a child's shoulder. Your feelings are not your child's responsibility. I know that sounds harsh, but it's true. Even when you are at the end of your rope, most especially then, and I'll say it again, especially with siblings, coming unhinged with a sibling is very visible for a child. They notice that, they see it, they see how hard it is for you. And now that sibling has become the hard thing. And so they become easy. Number 4, receiving the mask as love. When your child performs the version of themselves they think you want and you respond with delight, this is a hard one. They learn which version of themselves gets you warmth. Over time, only that version comes out. The real version goes underground. Here's the fix. Notice the parts of your child that feel less convenient and respond to those with the same warmth. When they're cranky, come with connection, come with love, come with presence. When they're having a hard time, make sure you are showing up. Also for their sibling, they're watching everything you do. They're observers. So if you come to their sibling with connection when the moments are difficult, they're noticing that. My mom is safe. I can go to her with my feelings someday. I'm learning. Number 5, rewarding emotional containment. What a big girl you are. You didn't even cry. You're so brave. You handled that so well. When we praise children for not feeling, we teach them that feeling less makes them more lovable. And then we wonder, 20 years later, why they can't tell us when something is wrong. So let's not praise those things. Instead, we encourage them to have their feelings. I'm so glad you told me that. I'm proud of you for letting yourself cry. Thank you so much for showing me your feelings. I'm here for all of it, no matter what. I love you. These 5 things, praising the absence of need, modeling distress without resolution, assigning feelings, receiving the mask, rewarding containment, these are how loving, good, thoughtful, lovely parents accidentally build people pleasers. None of them come from not loving your child. All of them come from our culture. Our culture has taught us to manage children and to make children obedient rather than have a loving, connected relationship that's messy. If you're sitting here recognizing 2, 3, 4 of these patterns in your own house right now, and you want help untangling them with the child you're most worried about, and it could be the really difficult child, drop the word support in the chat. My team is going to send you a link and you can grab a time with me on my calendar this week and we just can discuss coaching. If you feel like you need to go further, need more support, then one-on-one coaching is your next step. Please write support in the chat if you're wanting that next step. Thank you, Nadine. We will see you soon. Okay. The fix. 3 practices to make your child's real self welcome. Practice 1, reverse the questions. Most of us all day long are asking our kids questions whose answers are whether the child has done something we want. Did you finish your homework? Did you brush your teeth? Did you say thank you? Did you feed the cat? Did you? Those are management questions. This week, every single day, ask your child one question whose only correct answer is the truth about them. What was the hardest part of your day? What do you wish was different right now? What's something you didn't want to do today, but you did it anyway? When they answer, and many of them will, or maybe they won't at first, don't say anything. Do not fix, do not explain, do not problem solve. Just say, thank you for telling me. We don't have to fix things for them. And if we try to fix it, they might think their feelings aren't valid enough. Just hold space for those feelings. Practice two, welcome the inconvenient feelings. The next time your child is crying about something and your adult brain is completely irrational, maybe they're mad about the wrong color of the cup or the sock seam or the fact that Tuesday became after Monday or their sister looked at them the wrong way. Get down on their level and say this one sentence. You can be upset about this. It's okay. I'm right here. Even if it doesn't make sense to you, validate their feelings every moment you can. They need it. Don't solve it. Don't minimize it. Don't say it's not a big deal. And also validate the feelings of their siblings. They are watching you. Every time a sibling has a feeling or an upset, make sure you're validating that so they notice mom or dad cares about feelings in this house. They can do it for brother and sister, so they can do it for me. What they're testing is whether their big feelings cost them you or you can handle them. Practice three, close your own loops out loud. When you have a hard moment in front of your child, especially with a sibling, when you snap, when you cry, when you have a stressful phone call, you lose it, close the loop. That was really hard. I'm taking a breath. None of this is your fault. That sentence is one of the most important sentences a parent can say because it tells the child, my emotions are mine. I am the adult. You do not have to carry me. You get to be the kid in this house. Okay, try that. Try this week. The next time your child is being so good, sitting quietly, not asking for anything, not complaining, not interrupting, pause. Ask them, is there anything you wanted to say that you didn't say today? And then wait. Don't fill the silence. Don't pepper them with questions. Just wait. You might be amazed at what comes out or what doesn't. And try it often. Don't give up on it. Okay, here's another question for you. Of the three practices we just walked through, which one feels hardest for you to imagine doing? Reversing the question, A, welcoming the inconvenient feeling, that's definitely me, B. C, closing the loops, naming what's mine in front of them, or maybe it's all of them. Are you A, B, C, or D? Not solving. Yep, not solving for sure. That's a good one. Tim says B, welcoming the in. That's me. Definitely B. Kelly says B. That's me too. It's hard, the inconvenient feelings, because you want to fix it, right? You want to make it all better. You want to tell them how you can fix it. Rose says yes. Not solving says Eric. Fabiola says B. Lots of B. Or maybe it's all three for you. Maybe it's a D. Whatever your letter is, that's your starting point. That is the practice your nervous system is most afraid of. So I see a lot of B's. If B is your thing, we welcome all feelings. We validate all feelings. We are present for all feelings. We stay regulated for all feelings. You're never going to be perfect, but you're just trying. Okay, here's your roadmap this week. These are the 5 things you're going to do. Number 1, stop saying you're so easy, or stop saying it in your head and replace it with, I love being with you. And think it in your head. I love being with this kid. This kid's great to be with. Step 2, once a day, ask the truth question. What's the hardest part of your day? Wait for the answer. Say thank you and move on. Don't try to fix it. Listen to the feelings, validate. I understand. I'm right here. Thank you for telling me. Step 3, the next time they fall apart over something small, sit down with them. Don't solve it. Don't minimize it. You can say things like, you can be upset about this. I'm right here. I understand. I'm listening. Step 4, close one of your own loops in front of them. Oh man, that was really hard with your sister today. I'm going to take a breath. None of this is either of your fault. Step 5, notice your easy child specifically, the one nobody worries about, the one the teacher loves, the one whose name does not come up at dinner. Schedule 20 minutes of special time with them this week. Put your phone away. They choose what you do, no agenda. That's the work. None of this is theoretical. All of it is practical. All of it can start today. Okay, 3 resources to support you this week. I want to leave you with 3 things that can help you. First, the shame-free parenting guide we're going to put in the chat right now. It's a PDF built specifically for what we just talked about. It walks you through how to recognize the shame that gets handed down unknowingly. Second, the podcast episode, Your Quiet, Self-Deprecating Kid. This is, sorry, the episode I would have wanted someone to hand me when I was first figuring out what was happening with Pia. The link is also going to be in the chat. And then third, my book, Unpunished. The chapters on early masking, perfectionism, the parent we were afraid we are becoming are the closest written companion to today's training. You can find them at unpunishedbook.com. Pick one, start there. Do not try to do everything today, just one to keep going. I want to tell you one story about one of my clients. I worked with a mom. She came to my coaching. She had an 11-year-old daughter, easy one. She also had an older son, but her daughter was the easy one, the mature one. And I asked her a question when was the last time your daughter cried in front of you? She thought about it for a long time because we had spent so much time on her son. She said, I don't know, maybe months, maybe longer. I don't even know. She didn't come to coaching because she was worried about her daughter. She came because she was worried about the brother. He was harder. He took up a lot of space. He was difficult to manage. The relationship was tumultuous, and the yelling was at an all-time high. So we worked really hard on the mom's reactions to the brother, the connection, all the pieces, the relationship. And pretty soon, several weeks in, that relationship started to improve and things started to get easier. And soon enough, the daughter began to have her feelings. She began to tantrum. This exact same thing happened with Pia. She finally saw her mom as a safe place to emote. And the mom was flabbergasted. She's like, what's going on? She's learned all this from her brother. She hadn't really learned it all from her brother, but she had. She had learned from her brother, oh my gosh, finally mom is safe. I can have my feelings. I can have my tantrums. I can be myself. I don't have to please anymore. She became less quiet. She became less accommodating. She became less terrified of being in trouble. But she became herself. The mom did the work. She started welcoming her daughter's real feelings like she did her son's. So she worked on her son and then she worked on her daughter because everyone felt safe. And she started to close her own loops out loud. Her daughter realized that she wasn't a burden because her brother wasn't deemed the problem any longer. The mom could regulate and connect through the hard moments. Her observant daughter was finally convinced she would not be a problem. This is the exact paradigm I had in my own family, and I see it all the time. The mom finally said, I didn't realize that the way I interacted with my son showed my daughter how to show up in our family. That is what changes when you do this work, not just for your child, but for your entire family. Everything changes. I work one-on-one with parents, and I have coaches who work one-on-one with parents who are exactly where that mom was. Parents who come to coaching because of a child and they stay because of what they finally get to give themselves, regulation and peace. Coaching with me and my coaches is private. It's just us and you and or your partner. We look at your specific child and your family and we find patterns. We take specific moments in your childhood and in your parenting and we unravel those and build something that works for you. So if you want to know whether one on one coaching is right for you, because it's not something everyone does, type the word support in the chat right now, and we will get a calendar link to you so I can chat with you and have a 20-minute conversation about what's happening in your house. And we'll find out together whether coaching is the right next step for you. We only take a small number of clients each season. So if you've been sitting with questions that we've talked about for a while, now might be your time. So write support in the chat if you're looking to get more support in this parenting paradigm. Here is my challenge for you this week. Find the child in your house who nobody is worried about, the easy one, the mature one, the one who's been making things easier for you for as long as you can remember. Sit down with them, 10 minutes, no agenda, and ask, what was the hardest thing about your day? Then wait. Don't fix it, just listen. The behavior we celebrate is not always the behavior that is well. The good kid is often the working kid. And the most important thing you can do for your child and for the version of you who lived this is to make their real self welcome in your house. Okay, I'm going to open it up to questions. If you are looking for more support, though, please put support in the chat so that we can connect with you. But I'd like to open it up to questions and or comments or thoughts about people pleasing. I know we have people in our community right now who are people pleasers or who believe they're raising a people pleaser. So let me get in this chat. Anything in our chat that we want to? Yeah, Tim. Tim's my chat monitor. Thank you, Tim.
Yes. Earlier, toward the beginning, Allison T asked, is it normal to have a people pleaser at school, other places, but that child isn't a people pleaser at home?
Yeah, you're actually, I think that, how many people have that? The kid who is, raise your hand if you have the kid who's actually pretty good at school, but then they come home and they're like melting down, having a really hard time. Nadine says yes. Araminta, Danielle. Yeah, I have that kid. My Esme, who's my really hard, difficult child, she is an angel at school. Everybody loves her, but she saves all of that difficult, all of the pent up energy of having to interact at school and manage all those feelings. She saves all of that, turmoil for me because I'm safe for it. So that's very, very common. Actually, probably means you're doing something right because you're the safe place. They're not taking it out at school where they're probably not going to be accepted for it. They're taking it out where they know they can get the support they need. So I think that's super common. Other things in the chat that I missed, Tim?
That was the only one I saw.
Okay.
Allison did raise her hand. I didn't. Allison, did you have a question? And if you can come on camera, that'd be great. But we understand if that's not a possibility at work or something.
There she is.
Well, that was an accident. I just have a little guy next to me.
Oh,
Um, but really, I just wanted some clarity. So like we were just talking about, my 7-year-old is that one. Like at school is like everyone loves her, and the teacher's like she's so perfect. She doesn't do anything. Grandparents like she's always great, and come home and like meltdowns over everything. Like she's the hardest one to go to sleep. And my 4-year-old has usually been the more, I want to say like more mature one. We're like, wow, she's so logical, like for her age. Like when she does have a tantrum or something, she's very good about like sitting down and talking with us.
yeah.
Until recently, last like 3 weeks, I want to say, it's been like meltdown after meltdown, like yelling no, slamming doors, saying mean things to her sister, or like doing these crazy things like throwing stuff in the toilet like she's never done. And so when you said that, I'm like, interesting. Like, is that because the people pleasing and now she's trying to come out of that? Or
Maybe.
is it more of like a power struggle and she's just getting her autonomy?
Could be either of those things. The remedy is the same. The remedy is connection and listening to feelings and having space for those feelings and coming regulated. So we may not fully understand where it's coming from, But what we do know is that connection is the response for any of those things because it helps everyone stay regulated and feel like they're going to get their needs met.
Right.
Yeah. So
Okay.
using
And
all
that
the
is something
tools.
that we've been implementing like the individual special time. Oh, you're tired. And so every day I've been trying, which she's very much my like physical touch one. So she wants like all the snuggles
So
and like
she
she's
might be
more of that. And even
noticing that you're
yesterday,
safer now. She might be noticing that you're doing the tools.
okay.
She might be noticing that you're accepting the feelings more. And so now she's willing to show her feelings because maybe she hasn't had space before to do that. And now she's feeling safe enough
Yeah.
to do it.
Okay.
Especially if you've started using the tools, that would make sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I didn't really put that together until you were talking, and then I'm like, oh, that's so interesting. I guess I didn't really think about her like that because
Yeah.
neither of them seem like a people pleaser per se at home,
Mhm.
like to the way you thought. But then when I'm like, well, she actually like does act a little more mature, even though she's so little.
Yeah. It's a good
So
notice for you. And it sounds like you're implementing the tools. So good for you. Not
yeah,
easy.
we're trying.
Yeah. I see that. And you've got three. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank
Thank
you.
you. Yeah, no problem, Allison. Great. I see somebody else's hands up. Who is this over here? Oh, that's Tim. Hi, Tim.
Just a technical note, folks, if you do have a question and you want to raise your Zoom hand or lift your real hand, if you can, turn on your camera so
Camera.
that Michelle can see you, or type in the chat, I have a question. We'll
Yes. Anybody else have anything? Nope. No. Okay. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I so appreciate you. I love seeing all these beautiful faces too. Thanks for thinking about your more people pleasing of child. And I hope that you got something good out of this session. And I'll hopefully see you all next week. Bye, everybody. Thank you. Bye, Zeta.
We can stop the live streaming.
I'm trying. My mouse won't work.